everybody, and welcome back. This is, I am Homemade by Abby, and this is Flosstube episode number 4. Today is Sunday, October 2nd. So my goal was to make a video yesterday in honor of spooky season officially starting, but I had to work yesterday, so today I wanted to show you my finish. It's not a fully finished yet. I think I'll make it into a little pillow, but I'll show you more of that later. After that, I'd like to show you some previous finishes from last year, some fully finishes. Then I would like to show you kind of a spooky work in progress or WIP parade. But before I do that, I just wanted to explain a little bit more. So this is a Flosstube, which is just, as people say, a little corner of YouTube where we like to talk about cross stitch. I personally also do a lot of other crafts, so occasionally I talk about quilting and other paper crafts and things like that. So without further ado, I'll show you my finish by Teresa Kogut. So here's the pattern. I took some creative liberties, I would say, with this. It is in a bag that's Her Fabric by Joyful Stitching. I just really love the little butterflies and things like that. So here is my finish. So I was nervous about the dark color of fabric, but I think it gives it a nice spooky ambiance for the darker color threads. Gives it very tone on tone. I did change this to a little pumpkin, and I left the bottom border out. Plus I added my initials over one here. And I picked my favorite color out of all of this, which is carrot. And this kind of autumnal palette kind of inspired me to do some other projects, because normally I do kind of brighter things, so this was kind of fun to push me out of my comfort zone. But I just wanted to show you that. And since that is all I've really been working on the last 2 weeks, mostly because I've been quilting quite a bit. We moved recently, so I have kind of my own area now, so I can spread out and make a mess. So these next things I want to show you are fully finished things from last season. So this is my great pumpkin little pillow. This is on a 32 count Lugana, I believe, from Hobby Lobby. And the DMC that I picked were the 0 through 30, the newer ones, so they're very bright. I was inspired by that, and this is a Lizzie Kate. It was one of the free patterns that she had on the table at my local LNS with some Lady Dot chenille and then just a little fabric. Those in the same pastels. And then the little crow even has a little French knot. This was one of my first few fully finished items, I'd say, and I thought I was never gonna finish this pumpkin, to be honest with you. But the more that I have stitched the bigger projects that I've started, I look back and I was like, oh, that's such a cute little pumpkin. But when I was stitching this, I was like, I'm never gonna finish. The next fully finished item I wanted to show you is Halloween Quaker. And this is another free pattern, but this is from Fat Quarter Shop. I stitched it on 28 count Kermit. And I just picked my own threads. I used a couple overdyed floss. And then this fabric is just from Walmart, and this was a clearance frame that I just painted actually with craft paint. And I didn't finish this with glass or anything since it won't be out for long term. But ideally, I would like all of my bigger cross stitch pieces in glass, but that's a luxury that I don't quite have yet. The last previous finish is not something that I previously finished. It is a model that I got from Barrick, and it's called Autumn Harvest. It was with the called for threads on 36 count mocha. And I really like it. To the spooky WIP parade. I thought I would start with some of my work in progresses, my WIPs. These I started, this first one that I want to talk about, I started last year, and it is in a 805 stitcher bag. I could not resist when I saw these little dogs. We decided that this one was most like Gizmo and this one was most like Milo. Jared gifted me this pattern last year, and trying to find just a picture of what it will look like. I'll have to put a picture in of what it's supposed to look like, but I have done the bottom basically. And this pattern is by the Witchy Stitcher, and I'm stitching it on a 32 count gray fabric with mostly the called for DMC, I believe. There was 2 colors of this pattern. I picked the more colorful one. So like I said, I'll put a picture in what that's supposed to look like because I don't have a cover picture. Since I took a break from filming these YouTube videos, I stopped printing the cover photos. So the next thing that I started, this is stitched on 40 count Bewitched Fiberlicious, and this fabric, y'all, to die for. Look at that. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? So, this is the pattern that I'm stitching on, and it was on sale. I'm a sucker for a sale. As you might have noticed, the first few patterns I showed you were free. This one was on sale. And this is a very small start. It's just a little S. But this is only gonna be like this big. I thought it was gonna be much bigger for some reason, but again, I got this about the same time as I was doing the pumpkin. And I thought these were huge. And I'm doing that with an over-dyed orange and then just subbing in DMC when I get there. And this is a bag that I made. And I think it's very fitting with the new Hocus Pocus movie coming out on Friday. Did you guys watch it? We watched it on Friday night and finished it Saturday night because I was sleepy. So the next project that I worked on is Touch of Magic. I showed you guys that in the last video. So I'll just go ahead and put, trying to think. Let me go grab it. Touch of Magic is in this kitty corn bag that I made. This was one of the first times I'd ever pieced a 2-inch little square grid. I've practiced a lot since then, and if I were to remake this, it would be a touch better, but this is also the first time that I did kind of a traditional back, or traditional, what would you call this, binding, where I bound it and then it meets up together at the bottom, and I did that 4 different times so that it would turn out correctly, and then I folded it over. Very proud about this bag. So the full pattern has been released since then. Down here it says something about broomstick and scary ghost or something in letters that look like candy corn. It's very, very cute. I would say I'm a little less than halfway. So I have not made any progress since last time. But like I said previously, this is 32 count Calypso Picture This Plus. Very tight weave, so I'm actually only stitching it with one thread over two. And then some of the things I've subbed in is just some personal details. So I changed all the stars to light yellow with an iridescent color. I stitched the leaves with like a variegated overdyed. And then for the gold yellow color, I added some DMC. Actually, that might be Kreinik. Let me look. I can't remember. Then I got the DMC and I stitched with it, and I don't know if I kept stitching with it, because I'm pretty sure, just going through my floss here, pretty sure I pulled the gold as well, but here's the iridescent that I was adding in. You can kind of tell. I think I just used DMC, what was this? Diamant? But I do have some gold Kreinik that I thought was in here. I think that it's nice to take any opportunity to include some of your more specialized materials. Otherwise, you don't really get to use them that often. Yeah, I don't see it in my bag. But, oh, here's the color I'm using for the leaves. It's Autumn Mosaic. So it's just really pretty. Janine from the Blue Flower says people get drunk with power, and boy do I get drunk with power when I'm messing with colors and patterns. So those are the 3 main Halloween projects that I've got, or spooky season projects that I've got. I've been thinking about trying to do things that are more fall themed so they can stay out past Halloween, but I think it's okay. Halloween was always my favorite when I was growing up, so I don't really want to generalize, you know, the decor, because that's my favorite. So anyways, besides that, I wanted to show you some of the patterns I've been thinking about starting, wishing to start, kitting up, things like that. So with that being said, the first I'll show you is the Little Brown Bat by Cottage Garden. It's easier to print off a picture and show you than add a picture, so when I can, I'll do that. So this is number 10. I think I have 5 or 6 of the other ones, but I just love this little bat. He's so kooky. I am in the process of stitching the ferret. It's way cute. And they came out with a beaver also, and raccoon. And I just think those are so obscure that I love it. So I would really like to start that one. Another one is called The Stitch Crypt, and this is actually called Turn Your Back Hut Hut by The Stitch Crypt, and it's a Baba Yaga pattern. Michelle Bindi was talking about maybe stitching a Baba Yaga pattern in October several months ago, so when she said that, I kind of kept my eyes peeled. And another one of the designers I really like, here, let me just double check, the Witchy Stitcher. I have the other one of her other ones. She had kind of a promotion going where if you bought a pattern from one of the fellow designers that she had listed, then she would give you access to one of her small charts. So I decided that was a perfect opportunity to grab this chart. I think what I would do if I stitched it is just to do this, the little house at the feet, and then, you know, those kind of oval hoops with like the wood design. I think it would be so cute in that, because the browns in this will play off the browns of that. I think that'd be way cute. So because I did that, here, I'll cover up the pattern. The Witchy Stitcher sent me this little guy. It's Spooky Scary Skeletons, if you can't see very well. And it's got a jack-o'-lantern head, a skeleton head, and a candy corn head. And the stitch count is 48 by 50. So that is a perfect little pillow size to put with the little pumpkin, if I get around to doing that. The next one I want to show you is called Family Portrait by Mama Witch Cross Stitch. And let me tell you about Mama Witch Cross Stitch. So she used to have an Etsy, and then kind of the world kind of started falling apart, and her Etsy was closed. So now she's got the Facebook group, and she's got her own website set up. So if you want to go find her, I go to her Instagram account and then kind of link from there to her other things. But she was having a sale, a half off sale. And this is called Family Portrait. And I just thought the colors were so fun. I don't really feel like you see a lot of blues and teals for Halloween patterns, but I thought it was really unique. And I feel like this is Tim Burton-esque, but not as extreme as Tim Burton is. I just really appreciate her art style. So I wanted to get this and put it in my stash, but this one is a touch bigger. This one is 162 by 127, so I would not classify this as a small by any means. It's a medium. And I recently joined Teresa Kogut's Patreon. I joined in September, so I think I'm on the 2nd or 3rd tier. So I get one medium-sized pattern a month. Last month it was not spooky season themed, but this month it is, and she released it yesterday. And I'm not sure if we're actually allowed to share the cover photo of or not. I feel like you are. But it's called Autumn Bliss, and it's also on my list now. Our printer's on the fritz, so I wasn't able to print a photo, but I will put one in here. This one was also a pretty good song. So thank you again for tuning in and enjoying some stitchy talk with me. I'm happy you stopped by. If you could, I'd love if you could like and subscribe. I know it's kind of annoying, but every little thing that you guys can do helps. And leave a comment. Which was your favorite project? Which projects are you looking forward to doing?